Hi guys, welcome to Fully Painted Miniatures. This is Drogs, and this is part of my series doing solo playthroughs of Aeons End, 2nd edition. Today we're going up against Crooked Mask, Expert difficulty. This is definitely the hardest nemesis I have gone up against so far. He's the most difficult for me anyway on the starter box, 2nd edition starter box. I'm having a real hard time with him, and I haven't figured out a winning strategy yet. So I'm kind of just experimenting and trying a few different things. I typically use much cheaper decks, so I'm able to get my economy going kind of quick, and I go quick for spells and relics without getting too many gems. This time I'm kind of doing the opposite, where I'm focusing on gems early. To really get my economy going, because you end up with a bunch of 4 and 3 card hands, and it really hampers your ability to purchase what you want. So, yeah, I'm using Brahma and Kadir again, because Brahma has the ability to heal 4 life with her special ability. Kadir can give you an extra offensive abilities, pulling cards from her discard pile, and then double prepping to her breaches with hers. And she also has the ability to heal, which is very important because most of the corruption cards from Crooked Mask deal damage to the players or to Gravehold. And it's really unavoidable any other way. You kind of just have to heal it. So I am going with, for my store, Sifter's Pearl. This is my 6th attempt, I think, on Crooked Mask, Expert difficulty. I actually did play another round against him last night. But I was drinking, and I was clearly too many deep. So I remember that I played it, and I did record a video of it, but I actually don't remember how anything happened. Or I know I lost pretty badly. But I don't actually remember how any of it went, so I'm just using the same store I had set up previously, because I don't remember what was effective, what wasn't, where I got screwed up. I have no idea what happened during that game. So I deleted that video, and now it's the morning, and I'm doing it again with some coffee. All right, everything's set up, so I'm just going to get started. We're going to start with Brahma. She's going to prep Buried Light to a first breach. And with 4 crystals, she's going to buy a Searing Ruby. She gets to go again. We're going to cast Buried Light. It's going to do 1 damage to Crooked Mask, bring him to 69. Also generates a power. So that gives me a total of 4 power, which is enough to open her second breach. And prep both sparks. Then we get Kadir. She's going to prep Spark. And with her 4, she will also buy a Ruby. She gets to go again. Spark will cast for 1. Bring him to 68. And she will pay 3 also to open her second breach. And prep both sparks. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we're going to get a double Nemesis activation now. First, we get Eye of Nothing to discard, spend 6 power, or 6 Aether, sorry. Unleash twice, power 2. And we get the Corruptor. So he has 6 life. He deals 1 damage to Gravehold each turn, and every time you damage him, you gain a we call it Corruptor card. So we remove 1 power token from the Eye of Nothing, and that was the second card. So as long as I get one of my mages first, I can cancel Eye of Nothing. I will have 6 power. So 2 out of 3 chance. And I do. So I get Kadir. She will cast both sparks on Crooked Mask directly. 66. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aether will cancel out. I have nothing. Nemesis gets to go. Corruptor is going to do 1 damage to Gravehold. And we draw a card. Tempt. The player with the most crystals in hand discards all their crystals. That would be Brahma. So discards 4, suffers 3 damage, and gains a card from any supply pile that costs 4 or less. So I'm going to actually give her a Focusing Orb. And she takes 3 damage, leaving her with 7 life. Yeah. Okay, we do get Brahma's turn. She's going to cast both sparks. That's 2 damage to Crooked Mask, bringing him to 64. And Searing Ruby is worth 2 power, 3 towards a spell. I can't do anything with that on its own, so I will simply buy a charge. That one's her turn. So the unfortunate thing there is, yes, I was able to cancel out that I have nothing, and the tempt wasn't, too damaging. But both of them were set up to be each by an Arcane Nexus, which would let me potentially double cast rubies. Was kind of the idea there. So that didn't work out. All right, Nemesis goes again. Corruptor does 1 damage to Gravehold. And draw a card. Burden. The players collectively gain 2 corruptions. Place them on top of their deck, so they each gain a corruption. And any player focuses a breach. We're going to focus Brahma's 4th breach. Then we get Kadir. She's going to prep 2 sparks. And with 3, she will buy a Sifter's Pearl. Taking a little longer than I wanted to get set up, but that's okay. Brahma is going to prep Buried Light, and then with 4, she'll buy a Lava Tendril. Not the greatest round. I got lucky with my corruption cards, at least. Those ones are kind of decent. Alright, we're going to start with Brahma. She's going to cast Buried Light. 1 damage to Crooked Mask, plus 1 power. Focusing Orb is going to focus her 4th breach, opening that up. Oh, sorry, I got to do this first. Alright. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Brings it to 25. But she gains 2 life. So she goes back up to 9. So then I use the Focusing Orb. And then with 3, I buy Sifter's Pearl. Can't really do anything else. That's at least kind of decent end. Okay, Corruptor goes. 1 damage. And we draw a card. Agony Field. To discard, destroy a card in hand that costs 2 power, Aether or more. Power 2, Unleash. Any player discards 3 cards in hand and then draws 1 card. The Unleash is probably the worst part of that. Okay, we do get Kadir. She gets Insatiable Avarice, suffer 2 damage. Okay. Place a gem from the least expensive gem supply pile, Sifter's Pearl. and then place it into your hand. I'm going to give that back to Brahma, since she's got the one that heals her automatically too. So they should basically cancel each other out. Yeah. All right, then she's going to cast 2 sparks. 2 damage to Crooked Mass, brings him to 61. She'll prep a spark. And then let's see here. I could destroy the Sifter's Pearl, get rid of the Agony Field, and I will. I will destroy the Sifter's Pearl. And then this is worth 3 power, 4 towards a spell, with a life point. So 1, 4, 5. I could also, yeah, I'm going to buy an Oblivion Swell instead of a life point. Brahma is going to prep Lava Tendril and 2 sparks. And then she has 3 power, 4 towards a spell, and she will buy another Lava Tendril. Corruptor attacks Gravehold for 1. Draw a card, Unleash. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. So we're going to take a Corruption card and give that to Kadir. And then shuffle her deck. And then Gravehold takes 3 damage. So that brings us all the way down to 20. So that's not good. And we do get Kadir again. She's going to cast Spark. 1 damage to Crooked Mass, bringing him to 60. Got some damage to him. And then this is 4, 6 power. 6 even. With the Sifter's Pearl. So I don't have anything that costs 2. I don't actually have very good options at 6. It's like the one thing. So I can either take a Focusing Orb and a Charge, or 2 Sifter's Pearls, essentially. Or I could grab a Lava Tendril and a Ruby and a Charge, but I'd take a Focusing Orb. I'll take the Focusing Orb and a Charge. And then they both get to reveal. I will discard the Spark. Okay, Kadir gets to go again. Delirium Veil activates first. Gravehold takes 2 damage. Focus Breach. So 18 for Gravehold. That focuses her 3rd breach. She doesn't have anything prepped. I will prep Oblivion Swell. And then I generate 2, 3, 4 power, 5 towards a spell. Plus I get 1 from the Oblivion Swell. So that is 5 total, or 6 towards a spell. Yeah. And I will buy a Burning Opal with the 5. Alright, Brahma gets to go. Endless Hunger, Gravehold suffers 3 damage, gain 2 life. So that heals her up to 10. I'll kick this back over to Kadir. But Gravehold takes 3 damage. Brings it down to 15. That's not very good. Alright, Lava Tendril. We're going to cast this against the Corruptor. It's going to deal 4 damage, leaving him with 2, and I gain a Corruption card. I will then cast both Sparks for 1 each. Directly at Crooked Mass, brings him to 58. I'll prep Buried Light, and I have 3 remaining, and buy Sifter's Pearl. Nemesis Corruptor goes. 1 damage to Gravehold, brings it to 14. And Dispel. I hate this card. Unleash twice. The player with the most prep spells discards their most expensive prep spell. So I guess that means I'll just do that. But there's a double Unleash. So they each gain a Corruption. And shuffle. How fat this is already. So this is why I don't. It just ends up screwing up your turn so much, and it gets so random. So what I really wanted to do was have each of them buy 2 Searing Rubies, 2 Burning Opals, and then be done with gems basically for the rest of the game. Get them each at least 1 Focusing Orb and 1 Mage's Talisman, and then just buy the most expensive spells I can afford. And instead, I've gotten them each basically 1 ruby, a bunch of Sifter's Pearls. I now have them each with 1 Focusing Orb, no Mage's Talismans. And I got, what, 2 Lava Tendrils and 1 Oblivion Swell, and that's it. Not a lot of offensive firepower in these decks, and it's already this fat. So, that's not good. And I don't have... Oops. Gosh, jump these in. I don't have enough Focusing Orbs to really get all my breaches open effectively. So it's going to be a while before I can destroy them for health for Gravehold. So I'm not getting my breaches open as fast as I wanted. I'm not generating charges as fast as I wanted. My economy is not as strong as I wanted. And my spells aren't anywhere near the damage I want them to have. That said, he doesn't really have much on the table, so that's good. And at least my mages both have, full life or pretty close to it. Rama's at 10, Kadir's at 8. So that's good, I guess. But, yeah. Not loving it. Alright, and I'm going to pour myself some coffee. So Kadir's going to go next. She's going to focus her 3rd breach, which allows her to prep with the focus on. Allows her to prep all 3 sparks. And then she'll use Emerald Shard to gain 1 life. That brings it back up to 9. Oh, that's a nice little hand. And Nemesis, so Corruptor activates again. Brings Gravehold down to 13. And we get Awaken. Unleash twice, and Gravehold suffers 3 damage. I don't think there is a minion card in here. Wow. So I don't even have the option of taking a minion. So we unleash twice. Gravehold takes 3 damage. So that brings us down to 10. And we get 2 more Corruption cards. So there's only 3 left in there. So I'll just Brahma's a quick shuffle. I really don't know how to approach this guy. It's gotta be special abilities. I'm thinking maybe I swap out Brahma for Mist. So I'm the only... I don't like using essence stuffs. For healing, because you do get so many corruption cards, you end up with short hands already, so to discard cards just makes it that much harder on you. But, yeah, I think I'm going to have to just go all in on charges. Maybe swap out Essence Theft or Lava Tendril for Ignite. And Burning Opal for Sapphire. I don't know. Okay, so that's the end of the Awaken card. Alright. So we get Brahma. Suffer 1 damage. Okay. Brings her to 9. Deal 2 damage. Kills the Corruptor. And I gain Corruption card. Annoying. Cast Buried Light for 2. Brings him down to 56. Reina, I'm still shooting a video. No jump. Yeah, you're a good girl. Be a good girl and you'll get a treat, okay? Alright, we're going to use Focusing Orb on the 3rd breach here. And then I have 5 power. Oh, that hurts. No, ow. No. Down. Why don't you guys go outside? Why don't you guys go outside? Come on. Yeah, outside. Yeah. Come on. Go. You two have fun. Sorry about that, guys. She's about 1.5 years, but she's still a puppy, and not all of the training has clicked in yet. She's getting a lot better. She's getting better every day, but it's not quite there. So Sifter of Pearls, 2, 1, 1, plus I get 1 from the Very Light. I will buy Mage's Talisman. And they both get to reveal. And they will both discard. Almost kind of want that to activate. Suffer 2 damage and discard 2 cards for an extra activation. Nah, it's alright. So even though I'm not doing like anything I want to, I've done 14 damage to him, basically all his sparks. And he doesn't have any minions in play, so, you know, other than, I think the Corruptor is really the only Crooked Mask minion that there is until you get to tier 3 cards. So, he's not very minion heavy until tier 3. And I just got lucky and didn't get any of the basic minions. Okay, Nemesis card. Nothing on the board. Oh, I'm sorry. There's the tier 2 minion. Pain Sower. I forgot about him because he has that card that discards 2. That skips 2 Nemesis cards. And I ended up skipping him, I think, both of the last 2 games. So he does 2 damage to any player. And then focuses the other player's breach. But 2 damage directly to a player can hurt quite a bit. Alright, so we do get Kadir. She's going to cast all 3 sparks on the Pain Sower, dealing 3 damage. Drops him to 8. And she then has Burning Opal, Sifter's Pearl, Searing Ruby, and 2 crystals. So that's 3, 5, 7, 9 power, 10 towards a spell. Wow. So I could grab an Arcane Nexus and a Sifter's Pearl, which is very tempting. Or I could grab 2 Essence Thefts or 2 Oblivion Swells. I'm going to take, well, or I could do something with the Pearl. So if I got rid of a crystal, that would still be 9 towards a spell. Yeah, I'll do that. So I will discard this crystal using the Burning Opal, which will allow Brahma to draw another card. And I will spend 5 on an Essence Theft and 4 on a Focusing Orb. And then the Sifter's Pearl activates, and they will both discard. Actually, I'm going to keep that. Okay, Brahma. Grimsight, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Brings me down to 8. Look at the top card of your deck. You may destroy it. Which I want that. It's fine. I'll move that over there. She'll prep Spark to her 4th breach. And she generates 5 power with these. Sifter's Pearl. And Mage's Talisman. Nemesis, Pain Sower activates. We're going to have Brahma take that damage. And that will open Kadir's 3rd breach. That's from the Pain Sower. Then we draw a card, unleash twice, any player suffers 2 damage. So they both get corruption cards, and that's it for corruption cards. I did that right? Yeah, he was at 8. Oh, so many cards. I'm not used to shuffling this big of a deck. Dogs are being a little. I stuck them outside. So hopefully this shuffle here will get those 2 Mage's Talismans right on top. That's what I'm hoping for. So I never did get, I wanted more Burning Opals and Searing Rubies, but I did get quite a few Sifter's Pearls, which is nice. I feel good about number of Focusing Orbs. I'm really happy I got those 2 Mage's Talismans, or did I get 3? No, 2. So that's really good. I would like to get probably 1 more Mage's Talisman. Focusing Orbs just for the healing, eventually. But I want to grab all those Arcane Nexuses if I can. And a couple Essence Thefts would be the strategy going forward. So Arcane Nexus and probably Mage's Talisman. I'm just roll with that. And any player suffers 2 damage. We'll have Kadir take that. Okay, Kadir's turn. Suffer 1 damage. Return a card cost 0 to your hand. Can't do that. Greyfold suffers 2 damage. Brings it down to 6. Focus a breach. Okay. Then she will use Focusing Orb, and I'll open her 4th breach. So that's good. All of her breaches are open. And she'll prep Oblivion Swell, which will also generate 1 power, along with this crystal, and she'll buy a charge. Not a good shuffle. Not at all. All right, Brahma. Insatiable Avarice, suffer 2 damage. Place a gem from the least expensive supply pile directly into your hand. Okay. She will then cast Spark for 2 on Painsower. Prep another Spark. And then she generates 4, 5, 6 power, 7 towards a spell. And she will buy an Arcane Nexus. And that Sifter's Pearl then activates, and they will both hold on to those. Yeah, I got 1 Mage's Talisman, 2 Lava Tendrils. That's a pretty good hand. All right, I'm gonna try letting the dogs back in before I start this next round. So I feel okay. This is atrocious. I do only need to focus 2 more times, and then I can start destroying the Focusing Orbs. But man, that's really bad. That's really bad. And my player's life, my mage's life, is starting to get kind of low. All right, I'm gonna let the dogs in real quick. Okay, you can come back in, but there's no treat. No treat. All right, I'm still shooting a video, you guys, so be good. All right, we do get Brahma. No corruption cards. She's going to cast Spark for 2. And that leaves Painsower with 4 life. And then I get to prep Buried Light with 2 Lava Tendrils. And Mage's Talisman generates a charge for each mage. Gives Kadir 3 and herself 2. And the crystal just gets wasted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 corruptions. But here's the other Mage's Talisman, so that's something. And I do get to go again. Okay. Yeah, I don't see... I have to activate these first, so I can't destroy the Focusing Orb to heal Greyfold. And this one cost me the game, because it makes me gain 3 corruptions, which I don't have, which does 6 damage to Greyfold, and I can't destroy this first to heal it. And there's no way to prevent it. So, Greyfold is destroyed, and that's a loss. Man. Kicked my butt. How many cards was I away from tier 3? 4. So I still have this round. Man, but the last one was Vex, so that would have done 8 damage to Greyfold on its own when that came up anyway. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Actually did fine for player's life. I don't know. I got a Lava Tendril early, but I only used it once when I needed to get rid of the Corruptor. I had no real opportunities until now to even try leaving them to just generate that 1 damage per turn. just because of the shuffling. I just never really got them around. I only got one Burning Opal, I think, the whole game. Yeah, and that was kind of late. I only got my Arcane Nexus very late. Plan was to get both of those early, or at least one, because his stuff does kind of mess up your hands in those first couple rounds. So, but I want to push to get an Arcane Nexus, a Burning Opal, and a Mage's Talisman early, I think. Just hard to do. Haven't quite figured it out. Now, I could swap out Brahma for, like, Kadir. So here's the other thing I'm struggling with. Usually I like to curate my decks. Get rid of all the crystals, get rid of all the sparks. And that makes sense because when you get a hand like this, for example, you get 2 corruptions, a crystal, a spark, and I only have one real card, one store card out of all 5. That makes it really tough. But on the other hand, if you do that and you curate and you get rid of all your crystals and sparks, you start getting these corruption cards so often because you can't get rid of them. They're permanent parts of your deck. You cannot remove them. Yeah, you can't destroy them. They're undestroyable. So then what? You're left with, say you have a 15-card deck. 10 of them are store cards and 5 of them are corruption cards. 1 out of 3 of your cards is a corruption. And they're going to do damage to Grateful, and they're going to do damage to you. Very, very, very quickly. And it's really hard to stay alive. And it takes a lot of effort to curate your decks. It takes a lot of rounds. So I don't know. I don't have this nut cracked. My thought process with going with Lava Tendril, Oblivion Swell, and Arcane Nexus these are cards you can kind of leave up, right? So they do have a benefit. So say I survive these 2, right? All right, Spark doesn't really do much, but this card generates power if I leave it. And when I cast it, I can still cast it with this Ruby, and now that's 7 damage, right? Or I can leave it, and I'm still generating 1 power, 2, 4, 5 towards the spell. That's enough for an Essence Theft or another Oblivion Swell. Like that's not that bad, even though the hand's not good. I think I'm gonna try one more, kind of going this way, with no deck curation. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna take out Essence Theft. And I'm going to put in Ignite. And I'm going to swap out Burning Opal. For Clouded Sapphire. For the next game. I'm going to give that a try and just use those 3 cards, generate as many charges as possible. Should I leave Lava Tendril there? I don't know. I think good that costs 6. I don't love Wildfire Whip. Chaos Arc. Okay. I'll swap that out. Gives me a better damage option at that price point. Although I'll probably be grabbing Clouded Sapphires, to be fair, if I get 6. Okay, guys, I'm going to give that a try in the next video, which I'm going to shoot immediately after this, once I get reset up. So, love you guys. You're the best. Thanks for coming in, hanging out. Be good.